So today's video is just my standard pull day. This is a day that's going to hit both the biceps and the back. But I will also hit the forearms and I'll also hit a little bit of the traps as well. If you like these videos that I'm doing a little more often now, let me know. And like the video, subscribe if you'd like. Let's get straight into it. So I start off with incline bicep curls. Now I'm doing these both at the same time. Now notice two things about the way that I do these. Number one is I'm always doing it really slowly on the way down. When you're doing a pull exercise, or indeed any kind of exercise, you want to be really slow on the way down and then really quick on the way up. So for example, just like I'm doing here, if you're doing a bicep curl, you want to have this bit from here all the way down there, slow and then fast, and then slow and then fast. The same thing with chest press, so you want to go so from up here, you want it to be really slow down, then up, then slow down. That's number one tip I would say for bicep curls. But the other tip that I would say is you'll notice here as well, when I'm putting the weight down, instead of just going straight like this, I'm curving it like this. So I'm going like this. So you can notice I'm going like this. And then when it's going down, I'm curling it like that. Instead of like this, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Now, why am I doing that? So, a huge part of muscle growth actually comes from the stretched position of the muscle. So, when it's like this, it's at its most contracted, and then when it's like this, it's at its most stretched. So, when you're in that stretched position, that's when a lot of the muscular fibers starts to get damaged and they start to break down and tear a little bit, which is exactly what you want when you want to strengthen your muscles in the future, because this indicates to your body to start making bigger and stronger muscles so that next time it might be able to actually carry that weight that it's not sufficiently doing at the minute. And I'm curling it like this, you see, because if you have a look at your bicep, you can do this now. So have a look at your bicep, leave it out like this. So leave it out like that, and then twirl it like that. You can't see it too well on the camera, but you can see when it's like this, my bicep's higher up. It's higher up. There's more of a space in between the elbow and the bicep. If I go like that, my bicep's now gone down, and there's more of a steep decline straight into the elbow crease here. So what this actually does is, just as I mentioned earlier, this stretches out your bicep more. It's just an extra bit of work there. You don't actually have to do that if you don't want to. It's just a little thing that I've found works quite well for me personally. The second exercise I do is pull-ups. Very simple. Everyone knows it. Just like how I was talking about with the bicep curls, this is another one where staying in that stretched position will give you a lot more muscle growth. And you'll notice that I do this in here as well. Although, to be quite honest, in this one, I kind of cheat the most, if that makes sense, in terms of you kind of want to... So let's say you've just completed the rep. When you're going up like this, you kind of want to just completely drop in like that. So you kind of want your shoulders to reach your ears. But I'm kind of going to like, I think in this I kind of go like this instead of like this. But you'll notice that I do that on the lats. But on this one in particular, I like just really engaging the lats and getting more reps out of it. That's just me personally. It's probably an ego thing. But that is what I do for this one. This is another one where you want to go up as quick as you can and then come down slow and controlled. Also in the second clip, this is my own personal preference, but this might be something that you might want to consider. When I'm doing pull-ups, because your arms are in this position, the amount of lung capacity and the amount of breathing that you can do while your arms are up here like this is a little restricted. So before I have a set of pull-ups, I pretty much always get a good breath in, and I don't really start if I feel like I'm already out of breath, because I don't want to stop my set because I'm out of breath instead of having muscular failure. I would much rather feel like my muscles have been worked instead of just feeling like I'm out of breath and then ending it. Second one is concentration curls. Now, I'm actually not going to make an argument here that concentration curls are the most scientifically backed for muscle growth, because I don't believe they are. When I was talking about your muscles extending and that being a really big part for muscle growth, the concentration curls really doesn't have too much of that. This is because when you're doing concentration curls, the amount of tension that is used throughout the entirety of the range of motion is a little lopsided, because when you're just holding it down like this, you see, there's no tension whatsoever on your bicep. You see, so when you're doing this, when you're doing your bicep curls like this, right? At this point, there's no tension on your bicep because you're just letting it hang down. The kind of largest amount of tension kind of comes here, and then you know what I'm saying? This is opposed to something like, let's say some people use the cable machine. So you'll set up a cable and you'll have it behind you and you'll stand like this and you'll go like this. So pretend there's a cable here, you go like this. This works a little bit better actually, because as opposed to only having the tension when you're through this bit here, which is the bit that goes through the stretch, and the beginning bit actually has a lot of tension too, because the weight isn't just hanging down, the weight is actually working against you when you're using the cable. But nevertheless, the reason why I like doing this exercise is because I like doing this exercise. I like feeling like I'm working both arms individually. I feel like I'm able to get a really concentrated burn on my biceps, and I also feel like it may help correct any kind of asymmetry. So in that way, it's good for aesthetics as well. I will say for all these exercises, I'm doing 3 sets of up to 15 to even 20 reps on some of them. In particular, I know these concentration curls will take a little bit longer because technically you could view it as 6 sets kind of, because you're doing 1 set on one arm, one set on the other. Now we're on to lat pull downs. Now here is when you should really be able to see the stretch that I've been talking about. So again, you want to get that weight towards you in a more rapid fashion, and then you want to get it away from you very, very slowly. This stretches out the muscle, helps you grow bigger muscles, and also helps you be stronger. Not only that, but it also will work in your favor for joint health and stuff like that, because instead of just like going, hey, and then like pulling 20 million muscles in your back, you're actually controlling it so each muscle kind of knows its own function and can do what it wants. You'll also notice here something that I haven't been doing yet so far, and these are partial reps. So in particular with that pull down, I'll probably do anywhere from 6 to kind of 12 reps of full range of motion, and then once I can't do the range of motion anymore, then I go into partial reps. So I do these partial reps because 1, as I mentioned, I'm doing it all in the stretch state. 2, I feel like my muscle has more juice to give. I don't want to just because imagine this, right? If I'm doing range of motion, full range of motion, and then if I get to the point where I can't reach here anymore and then I stop, I'm going to have more left in the tank, especially when I do these partial range of motion. So let's say you do range of motion, you stop because you can't do the full range. I am going to end up doing more reps than you if I go like this and do the partial. I'm still working the same muscle. I'm still in the stretched position. This is something that was actually popularized to my knowledge by Jeff Nippard, who actually did a study on how range of motion compares to doing partial stretched range of motion. Now, he actually found that range of motion was slightly better. But what I actually initially thought of when I saw this study was, so you're telling me I can do 10 range of motion reps, and then once I can't do any anymore, I can do 4 partials, and it can also be like, 85% as effective as full range of motion? So this is why I implemented it in this exercise, is because I have more juice to give and I have more reps to give as well. Just because I can't do the full range of motion doesn't mean I can't do a few extra reps. The next exercise is hammer curls. Now I usually end up not doing too many reps on this one, but I did think to include it. Now this pull day is actually my second pull day of the week. This pull day ends up hitting the second part of the bicep. So imagine your bicep has 2 muscles, and you only slightly work these muscles slightly differently depending on how you do a bicep curl, compared to if you're doing this and compared to if you're doing this. So in terms of hammer curls, I work a slightly different muscle that I like to hit just because I like the idea of having a well-rounded body that's actually strong as well as looking good. So I do these hammer curls so they can increase my bicep size, but also so they can hit my forearm a little bit. Talking about the forearms, this is my own personal exercise that people don't usually do, but I have done it for quite a while. These are forearm curls. So how I set it up is I have an easy bar, as you can see. I have 2.5 kilograms on each side. The easy bar is like 9 kilograms, so this is 14 kilograms overall. I place it on the other side of a bench, and then I go on my knees on the other side of the bench and kind of reach over and then put it onto the bar and then do this, as you can see. So what this does is this hits this part of the forearm. And because it's a smaller muscle that I'm doing for both aesthetics and I'm doing for strength, I am hitting it for 20 reps. Flat out, and I'm doing it for 4 sets. So the first 3 sets are normal, and then the 4th set I always have it as like a don't be a wuss set. It's almost like a show of commitment or discipline that I always do the 4th set. But yeah, these are super difficult. They're going to give you a super big burn. I would suggest if you're doing this and you want to see like a really nice pump, don't do this at the end, because it usually takes like 12 minutes and the pump that you would see from the exercises prior has kind of gone by that point. But I do think this exercise is really fun. I think it's good to have a little bit of fun in the gym. It's good to have your kind of own exercise that you do every now and again. So give this one a try if you'd like. It does burn quite hard. You can start with 3 sets, but if you want to do 4 sets like me, then yeah, go ahead. So that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I'm going to be posting some more of these kind of content, I think, now that I've got the guts to take the phone into the gym with me and I realise no one really cares. I'm going to be doing this a little bit more. I'm hoping to post these once a week, I would say. I still want to make more educational videos in terms of the books that I've been reading and the like. But yeah, let me know what you think. These videos seem to do quite well when I release them. These videos seem to do quite well when these videos can... Oh, bloody hell, man. These videos seem to do quite well when I release them. So, yeah. See y'all. Bye.